To me, legacy giving is giving for the future. It's not for now, but it's that story of faith, or that work of faith continues long after you're gone, and it's for your children. Pass the passion on after you're deceased, after you're gone.
So legacy giving is certainly requires a greater vision, and it's much more for a larger or longer purpose. We've heard the expression that if we can see further, it's because we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and in a way, that's a legacy sort of statement. Many of the things that organizations that we look at that are around today is because people had a great vision and a purpose for those, and they had sustainability. That's what legacy does, is it enables that foundation for that long-term vision and that long-term plan, so SAM can continue beyond just today and tomorrow.
It costs money to take the gospel. You cannot do it without that. And what was so impressive, what impressed us so much, is if God's people are not faithful in giving, then we cannot be faithful in doing what we were sent to do. I often tell the people we minister to, what you see here is a gift from the churches, from God's people in Canada. They have left a legacy here, and this legacy is being passed on. And giving, not just for today, but for the future generations, is so extremely important.
So where do we see that type of generational planning today? What we see it again, going back to is it in the Hebrew culture? Absolutely, it's there. We can even look at, is it in some of the Asians, the Far East cultures? Yes, in a large degree. They're long-term thinking, maybe 300 years. And I think a lot of times in our Western world society and culture, we've lost the impact of long-term vision, where we might look at things from parent to child or what have you, but to look at what is the legacy of grandfathers, of grandparents, of great-grandparents, of great-great-grandparents. We've lost some of those connections, and that in itself is maybe from a lack of that vision and that legacy planning and giving, is to think generationally deep. And there's many biblical principles that support that long-term family generational aspect.
God told Moses to get the people to tell their children the experience they had going through the desert, and that would not die. They had to keep remembering it. And I think it's important to tell our children, to give them a chance to be able to have a better life.
I would say there's 4 key areas for the legacy giving in supporting of SAM Ministries. And one very simple and is either regular giving or annual giving, lump sum giving, as far as just cash donations of that area. The other factor is looking at your will planning. If giving and tithing are important to you in your lifetime, then consider the same in death. Another portion might be while you're managing your affairs, and you have perhaps some wealth that's been created in the area of either land or investments, you can do an in-kind donation directly to SAM. And from a tax planning perspective, there's a great efficiency there, because if you give the stock, the investment, as an in-kind donation, the capital gain would then be to them, but as a charitable organization, they really don't suffer any tax consequence for that gain. So they receive the full amount. And then you receive a charitable donation for the full amount, so you can use that for offsetting some other areas. So it's a very wise and efficient tax strategy. And point number 4 is the use of using life insurance. If you set up a life insurance policy and established the SAM organization as the owner of the insurance policy, and you paid premiums on the insurance policy, every premium you make is now a donation to the charitable organization, to SAM, and therefore that premium is now a tax deduction to you. So that's one aspect. Another aspect is you own the policy, but you write SAM legacy plan as the beneficiary in the time of death, then the insurance plan is paid out, the full amount goes to SAM. They issue a charitable receipt back to your estate, which can then perhaps reduce or eliminate many of the taxes that would be in place for your other assets in your estate to go to your next of kin, your generational planning that happens there. So those would be the sort of the key ways that I would say one can give, and then you would just look at your situation and see what's the most tax advantage and what's the most beneficial way for yourself, because there certainly is something that benefits the giver as well as the organization.
We work, first of all, we work together as Christians. We don't work alone. A hand cannot do anything alone. The church, the bodies, the members of the body of Christ have to work together and with God. Together, we work with God. We partner together. We form a link. We form a chain, and we do this together. The minute the chain breaks, then you find yourself weakened and you can't carry on. But as long as that chain is strong, working together with God, anything is possible.